للرجال نصيب مما ترك الوالدان والأقربون وللنساء نصيب مما ترك الوالدان والأقربون مما قل منه أو كثر نصيبا مفروضا. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In this lesson we will learn Al-Radd, the second distributions. Al-Radd, second distributions, means the total fractional share in the case is less than 1. For example, in this case, we have a granddaughter who's getting half, which means this half is equivalent to 0.5, which is less than 1. Al-Radd occurs if the total prescribed shares are less than the full state, leading to extra shares without heirs. This initiates second distributions of the remaining shares, consequently, which means increase to the share of the existing heir. Al-Radd can be defined opposite to Awl. There are two conditions for Al-Radd. Number one, some of the wealth remains after the prescribed shares are given out. Number two, there are no asib to take the remaining estate. Al-Radd, the second distributions, divides into two. Number one, Al-Radd without a spouse, meaning there is no husband or a wife in the case. The second type is Al-Radd with a spouse, meaning the mas'ala now contains husband or a wife. If the mas'ala contains husband or a wife, it divides into two: husband or a wife with one person or one category of people, and a husband or a wife with more than one class of people. Al-Radd without a spouse divides into three. Number one, Al-Radd without a spouse with one person, just one person in the case. For example, here we have a daughter inheriting half. So she's getting half fardan, meaning prescribed in the Quran, and she's getting the rest raddan. She's getting the rest of the wealth raddan. Likewise, here we have a mother who's inheriting 1/3 of the case, but she's getting the entire wealth this time because she's the only surviving heir. So she's getting 1/3 fardan, and the 2/3 remaining she's getting raddan. If there is only one surviving heir to the deceased, he or she takes the whole estate. That's the general rule. Al-Radd without a spouse with more than one person by the same class. For example, we have 4 daughters inheriting the deceased. So these 4 daughters are entitled to 2/3. In this occasion, they are taking the entire wealth. So the wealth is divided amongst them equally. 4 divided by 4. So each person is taking one share. They are taking together 2/3 fardan, and the other 1/3 they are taking raddan. So they're taking the entire wealth. In this occasion, we have 5 maternal brothers. These 5 maternal brothers are taking 1/3 fardan, but they are taking the 2/3 remaining raddan. So the wealth is divided amongst them equally. 5 divided by 5, and each person is taking one share. More than one class, meaning now there are different type of people in the case. More than one class. Example, here we have example number 1, full sister paternal sister, and a mother. Example number 2, we have a full sister, paternal sister, and maternal sister. In these occasions, each person is given their share. 1/2 to the full sister, 1/6 for the paternal sister, 1/6 for the mother. And in case number 2, 1/2 for the full sister, 1/6 for the paternal sister, and 1/6 for the maternal sister. The wealth is divided amongst them according to their prescribed share. So 1/2 of 6 is 3. Paternal sister is getting 1/6, and the mother is getting 1/6. Here likewise the same. Now we add this up together. When we add this up together, it becomes 5. And here we have 5. So in this occasion, we cancel the 6. And the new total case will be from 5. We have 5. The second case, Al-Radd with a spouse. Al-Radd with a spouse now. The circumstances where the mas'ala contains Al-Radd with one of the spouses. There's a remaining estate and one of the spouses. The procedure is to follow. Number 1, no Radd for the spouse. Husband or a wife don't get Radd. Number 2, the total share will be divided from the denominator of the spouse. So either half or quarter or 1/8. Number 1, if there is only one surviving heir or one class beside the spouse, the spouse is given his or her share and the remaining is given to the remaining heirs or the remaining heir. Number 2, if there are various classes of heirs with the spouse, the case is divided into 3 steps. Step 1, we build a case using the denominator of the spouse and give his or her share. And number 2, we deal with the other heirs in the new case, applying the necessary Radd. Number 3, then finally we combine the 2 cases into one. Example of a case of Radd with a spouse. Case number 1, we have a husband and a granddaughter. In this occasion, the husband is getting quarter and the granddaughter is getting half. The mas'ala is built upon the denominator of the husband, which is a 4. So a quarter of a 4 is 1. The granddaughter gets half, which is 2, and she gets the remaining through Raddan. She gets the remaining estate as a Radd. Case number 2, we have a husband and a maternal sister. In this occasion, the husband is getting half, and the maternal sister is getting 1/6. The mas'ala is built upon the husband's denominator. So he's getting half of the estate. This maternal sister is getting 1/6 plus the remaining. In case number 3, we have a husband and a mother. In these occasions, we have husband getting half and the mother getting 1/3 plus the remaining. So the husband gets half of 6, which is 3. The mother gets 1/3 fardan. She gets one third as prescribed, and she gets the remaining raddan. Case number 4, we have a wife and 7 daughters. The wife is getting 1/8 due to an offspring being in the case, and the girls will get 2/3 plus the remaining. So the masala is built upon the eighth. So 1/8 is 1, and the rest basically goes to the daughters, which is the remaining estate. They get 2/3 fardan, and the rest they get raddan. Example of a case with a spouse with more than one class of people. So here we have wife, full sister, and a paternal sister. In case number 1, we build the case upon the denominator upon the wife. So their shares are not mentioned here. In the case number 1, we don't mention the shares of the remaining heirs. We only mention the share of the wife or the husband. So here we build the first case upon the share of the wife. So she's getting 1/4 of 4, and the remaining goes to the full sister and the paternal sister. So case number 1, we build upon the denominator of the husband or the wife. In this occasion is a wife. So 1/4 over 4 is 1, and the remaining goes to the full sister and the paternal sister. Case number 2, we build a case for the full sister and the paternal sister according to their prescribed share in the Quran. So the full sister is getting half, and the paternal sister here is getting 1/6. So the masala is built upon 6. Half of 6 is 3, and 1/6 of 6 is 1. However, when we add this up, this becomes 4. So the new total share of the case is 4. Step number 3, we look at the relationship between the number here and the new total share of the second case. The possibilities from this occasion and this number here can be 1 or 3 or 7, because this case is always built upon the denominator of the husband or the wife. So the denominator in this occasion is 4. It could also be an 1/8, and it could also be for the husband half. So the remaining can only be 1, 3, and 7. It can only be one of these 3 numbers. And the number here in the new total share can be anything less than 6. So it can be 5. We have 4 here. It can also be 3, and it can also be 2. We look at the relationship between these numbers and these numbers. Apart from 3 and 3, the numbers cannot divide each other. The numbers here cannot divide each other. If they can't divide each other, what we do, we swap the numbers here. This number is taken on top of the new case, and the new case is taken on top of the old case. However, if we have 3 here in the new total share, if we have a 3 in the new total share and there's a 3 there, we divide each other. 3 divided by 3 equals 1. So this one is taken here, and the other one is taken here. So there will be 1 and 1. There will be 1 here, and there will be 1 there. So in this occasion, we took the 4 here on top of the old case. So the remaining state is taken on top of the new case, and the total share of the new case is taken on top of the total share of the old case. In order to create a new jami'ah or new combined case, we multiply these 2 numbers that you have here. So 4 and 4 equals 16. So the total share here of combine both cases is 16. So we times this number here with this number here. So 4 times 1 is going to be 4 here, and then we times this number for this ladies both, and then you have combined cases.